Hi guys, follow me on Instagram to never ever miss any of my crazy updates. Hi guys and welcome to another vlog. I am driving this. This is the Toyota Urban Cruiser with the Suzuki logo. Just kidding. This is the Maruti Vitara Brezza facelift because this is the original, this is the OG, this is the OP. Okay, whatever, let's get to it. Anyway, straight away I'm going to be opening the engine bay of this vehicle, which I'm going to struggle. Oh no, I didn't struggle. That is the engine. The diesel engine is out, petrol engine is in. Kind of surprising. Yes, it is. There's insulation right there. Well, it really doesn't need much insulation because this is not a diesel, but you know what, Maruti Suzuki actually made a 1.5 litre diesel engine which they put in the Ciaz and the Ertiga for only 1 year, and then that engine vanished. That's kind of surprising. They could not make it meet the BS6 emission norms. How does that even happen? Anyways, back to the vlog. We didn't even go anywhere. So the design of the Brezza has got an update. It gets LED headlights, dual projector setup. Look at that. And of course, this is the DRL, which is actually the indicator. Also, ek tir do nishane. The grill has been updated, but it doesn't matter even if the grill is updated or not, because anyways, whoever is going to buy it is going to remove the grill and going to put a Jeep grill or a Land Rover grill or a Rolls Royce grill or any freaking grill other than the Suzuki grill, of course. Suzuki grill, of course. Enthusiasm mein main kuch bhi bol raha hu. Okay, changes to the bumper as well, to the fog lamp garnish. Fog lamp is also LED. Wah beta wah, kya kar diya tumne ye? And the design of the Maruti Vitara Brezza is the same as before, which means it's square, 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 square. Coming to the side of the car, the alloy wheels have been updated. This gets a grey shade with an orange colored roof. You can also get, I think, black colored, white colored, or whatever colored roof you want. Lot of accessories available for the Brezza. The tire size happens to be 215/60/16s. Not bad. Okay, profile is big enough, so ride quality is good. You can see the suspension, it is soft. No, you can't see the suspension, it's soft. You can see the suspension, but you can't make out if it's soft or not. Nothing has changed in terms of the profile of the sheet metal of the car, which remains the same as before. But when you come to the rear, you realize, arey wah, beta wah, isme abhi LEDs aa gaye. So you get LED tail lights. Well, actually only brake lights are LEDs, because you can see there are bulbs inside for the indicators as well as the reverse light. It says smart hybrid right there. Porsche 918 is going to be so scared of that. You get rear parking sensors and of course a reverse parking camera there. Where is the exhaust? There is the exhaust. Yeah, in the diesel you could see the exhaust was hanging out big time. In this it's a bit more subtle. Says Vitara Brezza. I was saying Vitara Beta. Vitara Brezza on the chrome. You get a rear washer wiper. Of course a rear spoiler which doesn't look like a rear spoiler, and a high mounted stop lamp as well. See, that is the indicator of the car. Everything else remains, you guessed it right, the same as before, guys. Same as before. Let's open the boot of the car. The boot is actually, अरे खुलती क्यों नहीं है? Actually lock होगी गाड़ी, देखना lock होगी यहाँ से, नहीं खुली यहाँ से तो क्यों नहीं खुल रही boot? Okay, let's try opening the boot right now. Boot key. Actually it's an electromagnetic tailgate opener. I'm quite surprised it did not open. Maybe me need some more effort. Yeah, there it opened. Actually I'm pressing some other button baju wala, which is not needed. So boot is actually decent by compact SUV standards. Compact front wheel drive SUV, that is. Okay, storage space on either side. There's a light placement along with a 12 volt charging socket. I'm having such a deja vu. Oh my god, this is same as the Urban Cruiser. Well, of course this is the original. Spare wheel is a smaller size tire. 215/60/16 is not a smaller size tire. If I said it's the same size, but it's not an alloy. It's actually a steel wheel. Let's close this. Actually feels kind of on the heavier side, which is quite impressive. The rear seat is, well, decent enough. There's good amount of space on offer. Yeah, the space is good. Door pockets are big enough. In fact, under the support seems decent to me, huh? Legroom is okay. Why, you know what? Knee room is good, but legroom is a bit of an issue because there is the battery which is kept for the smart hybrid system, which kind of intervenes. Scooped out seat back, magazine holder, no rear AC vents, no rear USB charging socket. What the hell just happened? But there is 3 kgs of storage option here, which means that you can hang your portable charger, power bank right there to charge your phones. There's a hook and a handle and 2 adjustable headrests, because obviously the center passenger never has a head. His head fell down somewhere, I have no idea. Twin cup holders in the center armrest. Seat recline angle is actually good. Storage space here, you can actually move this like that. Quite easy if you want to access Chakna from here. I'm doing it for the rear passengers, huh? Because rear passengers are not doing drink and drive. Headroom is actually decent enough. They've scooped this out. That's nice. There's a light placement here and adjustable seatbelt height. That's impressive. The dashboard looks actually the same as before. There's not much change on that front. But you know what? There's a revolutionary feature on this car when compared to the Toyota's version of the Brezza, which means that this car gets different colored upholstery. Wow, what a revolution. Now what happens when you come to unlock the car? If you press it once, only the driver door opens. You press it twice, then all the doors open. And obviously you get keyless entry, you get push button start, you get plenty of features by 2016 standards. The door pockets are big enough at the front. You get these amazing controls which look like the same one on the 2005 Maruti Suzuki Swift. Okay, so they did not update this, who cares. Seats are actually quite comfortable and nice, and yeah, there's good amount of support as well, but they are black colored, not the brown colored ones, because brown colored seat covers actually improve the reliability of the car. That's the reason why Toyota has used them and not Maruti. Okay, there's a proper dead pedal there. This is of course the automatic. Lot of buttons here. This is the engine start button. This is to turn off stop start system. Outside rear view mirror controls, and this is for the headlight leveler adjustment. Let's get inside and try to figure out what's new. I don't think there's anything new. No. Nothing is new. It's the same as before. Okay, we've got dual glove boxes. The upper one is actually chilled. Yeah, the upper glove box is actually chilled. I thought the lower one would be. That's why I had to actually check the lower one as well. Decent size, not really big enough. Quality of the cabin is so not really great. Plenty of hard plastics. Auto dimming inside rear view mirror. Where is the sunroof? Are you hidden somewhere? No, there is no sunroof on offer. There's a sunglass holder though. If you don't have a sunroof, you can actually use the sunglass holder. Anyways, there is light placement right there, and you know what? There is no mirror here, but there's a toll receipt holder. It actually says ticket holder. You can't put your toll receipts there. Meanwhile, on this side, you obviously get a mirror along with a light. Quality of the cabin could have been a lot better when you compare to the Koreans, but I'm not complaining, I'm just complaining. Okay, audio controls. This is actually for the phone control. These are for the audio controls. This is for the cruise control system. These are obviously for the headlights. Automatic headlights, automatic wipers as well. Yeah, good amount of spray on offer. You obviously get a rear wiper washer as well, which I will show you right away. Yeah, good amount of spray on offer here as well. There, spray took a little bit of time. It had gone for a small vacation, but it's back right now. Now this is an updated infotainment system. It's known as the Smart Studio. It's a 7-inch unit. It is actually quite nice, but you know what? The Koreans are offering such bigger ones. You're like, ये तो छोटा छोटा निकल गया. Okay, it's showing you what is the distance to empty. 65 kilometers is all I've got. 7.9 kilometers per liter is the mileage. Automatic climate control, air conditioning. There's storage space here. There's a USB charging socket right there along with an auxiliary gear lever which में आ रहा है. And there's another like power socket. So plenty of charging options at the front. Only the front people deserve to charge their phones. Twin cup holders. There's a handbrake, and below the front center armrest there's storage space along with the medicine, which I don't know who kept and why. Now let's get into reverse. This is the reverse parking camera which gets guidelines. The guidelines are obviously not adaptive. Meanwhile, okay, the horn, very meek a horn. Mirrors are big enough. Seat is very comfortable. Front seats are very comfortable, and because you said hi, it gives you a good view of what's around you. Okay, you know what? You can change the color if you so wish. So here we're going to change the color. Plenty of colors on offer. Actually, 5 colors is not plenty, Faisal, because Mercedes offers 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, 64 freaking ambient light colors. But obviously, Mercedes cars cost a lot more. BMW offers 11, Maruti offers 6. And that is the story of the ambient lighting. Now, in the center, you've got a multi-information display, analog tachometer, analog speedometer, and telltale lights in the between, in front, on the top as well. But here you see, it's actually showing you the smart hybrid system functioning. Outside temperature, gear position indicator, distance to empty, and the odometer. Now, you can press this button to browse through this indicator. Chalu kar diya. Twin trip meters are also on offer here. And you can get into range, what's the real-time fuel economy, and a lot of information which you really don't care about. Because what you really care about is how is it to drive. But before that, let me tell you, there are no side airbags on offer. There's no sunroof on offer. There's no connected car tech. There's no air purifier. I am trying to figure out why so many features are missing in this car, because obviously the Brezza is from 2016, got a facelift in 2020, and hopefully next year we're going to get the next generation of the Brezza, which will take the game forward. Now obviously in terms of pricing, it's relatively value for money, but it's not, because of the engine which actually results in higher taxes. Yeah, मैं tax भर के मैं थक गया हूँ. And let's do one thing. Let's play an audio right away. Media तो दबा दिया. Actually radio दबा देते. चलो radio on कर देते. No physical control, which is a bit of an irk, because if I want to just like shut the audio system, I have to press this button. I have to keep pressing, or I can press this mute button, but that's not nice. Let's play an audio. इतने गंदे गाने आते हैं यार. ये क्या ला 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 लगा के रखा हुआ है. But that said, audio quality is decent. There's chrome here. There's chrome here. So they have put chrome here and there inside the cabin, which is actually a good effort. Nonetheless, storage space could have been better proved to keep a proper phone as such, but you can keep the key here just in case you wish. And obviously this is the gear lever. This is an automatic as such. So what are we waiting for? Yeah, chalo, let's start driving. But there's a smart storage space here. Yeah, you can keep your cigarettes, but it's not lockable, so it's visible to the naked eye, which is kind of ridiculous. Why? You know, because things might fall. If you put coins, you break, and then things will come out. There's a bottle design here which tells you only this kind of a bottle can be kept here. Jokes aside, Yeah, the Brezza has decent amount of features by 2016 standards. I expected more features. At least Maruti could have given it a lot more features. But then the facelift is more about cosmetics and of course a new engine. Let's find out. Alright, we're all set to go, which means turning off the air conditioning, getting it into low mode, no traction control to be turned off because it doesn't have traction control, revving the motor, revs till 2,500 RPM and off we go. A little bit of wheel spin, but that's about it. Yeah, it's holding the red line at 6,500 RPM and then all of a sudden it starts reducing the red line to 5,500 RPM and then again it does the same thing, again comes back to 5,500 RPM. That is just a way for the engine to not get spoiled. So that was L mode. Now we are in 2, which is second gear. In second gear, oh my goodness, it is pulling all the way till 110 kilometers per hour. So this is not technically second gear. It says 2, it must be third gear for sure because the car obviously takes a third gear shift to reach past 100 kilometers per hour. That is what I observed in the urban cruiser as well. Now you just put into regular drive mode. So that is the only manual control of things you can do in the Maruti Vitara Brezza automatic, and there goes an S-Cross at lightning speed. I think it has the same engine because it says smart hybrid behind, but probably that is the diesel engine which was also there in this car. Unfortunately it has gone, which is not unfortunate, just disappointing because this car really needs a diesel engine because the Brezza was launched with a diesel engine and the diesel engine was discontinued, replaced by a petrol engine, and there is no longer a diesel engine and people are so used to the torque of the diesel and the efficiency of the diesel that right now I'm so used to it because I have a Brezza at home that right now it's saying fuel warning, low fuel. Okay, I will say navigate. Now it says I have to connect my phone to actually enable the navigation because it doesn't have self navigation. It actually uses your smartphone to enable that. So fuel economy is between 10 to 14 kilometers per liter, but right now I'm getting 7.9 kilometers per liter. I kid you not. Okay, it's saying 8.1 kilometers per liter. It doesn't even have the reading right now because the mileage is so down and the fuel is almost out. And off we go. Off we go, I say, and we don't move only. You know why? Because there's not much grunt, especially this torque converter gearbox really bogs down the car. Okay, it revs a lot. It makes a lot of noise in the top end of the rev range, but this car has a very flat mid-range. This engine has a very flat mid-range, because of which you don't find it exciting to drive, especially because the diesel had a great mid-range punch. This doesn't have a mid-range at all and you're like lost for words, what is just happening. So low-end drivability is actually good. Drivability is actually at large good because low-end punch is nice, top-end is also good enough. Obviously it's a Japanese engine, so it really likes to rev to the red line and revs decently quickly. However, the mid-range is super flat and that is a disappointing part of this engine. Now this is a 1.5 liter K something engine, K15, okay, which also powers the Ciaz as well as the Ertiga as well as the Toyota Urban Cruiser, Toyota's version of rather Toyota Z4 for the Supra, whatever. That doesn't even make any freaking sense. The suspension is really on the softer side, in fact so soft, and when you brake there is some amount of nosedive. Yeah, you can feel the nosedive. Actually they softened the suspension. The diesel did have a stiffer suspension for sure. There is no traction control on offer, but there is launch control. Left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator, revving the motor, revs till 2,500 RPM. I'm just kidding, there's no launch control either. There are no electronics as such, and off we go. Come on baby. This car should feel faster than the manual because of 3 tricks up its sleeve, because this is a mild hybrid now. So it gets torque assist, which is slight boost under acceleration. It gets regenerative braking, which is basically charging the battery and giving you better fuel economy, because the battery also assists in terms of one important parameter of this car, which is the stop start system, which again turns off the car when you come to a halt to conserve fuel. So a lot of these positive aspects on the mild hybrid system, but because of the mild hybrid system and of course the old school 4-speed torque converter gearbox, the price difference between a manual and automatic is so much now, it doesn't make any sense to get the automatic. It is 1.82 lakhs. Yes, that's right. 1.82 lakhs is the price difference between the manual and the auto. You rather get the manual because the manual is just so much more fun, without a doubt. Anyways, I was like hoping there would be paddle shifters, but there are none. There is no manual control of things as such, and downshift takes its own speed time. This 4-speed torque converter gearbox is really old school. Now, really old school. It's very slow with shifts. It doesn't give you a shift when you want it. It's just very laid back as such, laid back attitude. However, it feels better than the AMT for sure because there's no jerkiness associated with an AMT. Now, the thing is the suspension has been softened and the steering has been lightened, so it's very nice to drive it in the city. Steering is easy to twirl, but out on the highway, it feels very, wavy as such. Plus, on bad bumps, there's bounciness as well, which can be felt inside the cabin, because obviously the soft suspension doesn't really bode well in terms of handling characteristics, because there is body roll. Actually, there's plenty of body roll on offer. This is not a fun car to drive, let down by the engine as well, because the engine is also not that grunty. you would expect that to happen. You know, when they actually launched the 1.5 liter engine, I was like 1.5 क्यों दिया, 1.2 दे देते ना, टैक्स बेनिफिट भी मिल जाते. अब मुझे रियलाइज हो रहा है कि 1.5 liter is also not enough. It needs a turbo to move because the 1.3 liter multi-jet diesel engine which was sourced from Fiat has set a new benchmark, and the Brezza really deserves that engine. Okay, it doesn't deserve that engine because that engine is long gone. It deserves a diesel engine because the diesel is a diesel is a diesel is a diesel is a diesel. Of course, the diesel is not a petrol engine. So overall, the Brezza's cosmetics have been tweaked and थोड़ा बहुत makeup कर लिया है, and obviously slight more features are also on offer, but it definitely deserves a lot more features, better driving feel, and an update to the engine as well, because this petrol engine just doesn't cut the mustard. In fact, I believe they're going to get back the diesel, and once they do, the Brezza will become very relevant yet again, although it still sells in good numbers. You know why? Because obviously it's a Maruti at the end of the day. Great service, great reach, and wherever you go, you'll find a Maruti service center being one of the major reasons. I kid you not, it is so easy to twirl the steering. Yeah, I can do it with one hand, one finger also I can do it. Get onto the gas. Little bit of wheel spin on offer, but the wheel spin is so minute now because this gearbox actually bogs down the complete car. Top speed is around 150 km per hour, but then car doesn't feel stable at high speeds, and it's best to take it to 100 km per hour and drive around that bandwidth. Although it is decently quick, it goes from 0 to 100 km per hour in 12.5 seconds, which is fine, but it just doesn't feel fast enough because of the flat mid-range. So there's a feeling of speed is not there in this car, although you can hear a lot of the road noise, the wind noise, the tire noise, and all those noises can be heard inside the cabin. So insulation could be better, but safety wise it's actually decent because it's got a 4-star NCAP rating as well, because obviously the body panels are thicker than what you usually see in other Maruti cars. Then probably I think this car deserves to be in Nexa, but it's not, because in Nexa there's the S-Cross, the Ignis which I don't see, and the S-Cross which also I don't see much, and honestly just the Baleno which is doing pure justice to the Nexa moniker. So the range actually starts at rupees 8.53 lakhs and goes all the way to 13.35 lakhs for the top end variant which I'm driving right now. This is the top end variant of the Maruti Vitara Brezza. This is the automatic, this is the dual tone. 13.35 lakhs is a lot of money, but then the price I'm talking about is of course on road Mumbai. There are 9 variants on offer, 5 of which are obviously for the manual and 4 are for the automatic, because you know what, of course, yeah, LXi is not available in the automatic. So yeah, that is the variant which actually lowers bias to the showroom, and at the end of the day they end up buying a VXi or a ZXi as well. So as I see it, the Maruti Vitara Brezza still is a fantastic car if you're looking for an easy to drive compact SUV, which you do not drive much because the petrol engine is not very efficient, not very punchy either. What I would say is wait for the diesel, because the diesel is going to come back for sure. And forget the diesel for a bit. There are a lot of competitive cars in the market right now because the Venue as well as the Sonet have taken the game further. But if you live in a place where you won't find other dealerships, the Maruti dealership is obviously going to please you because the reach is absolutely insane. Still, this is an easy to drive car. It is still a very relevant car, but once an update comes, a proper update comes, and Maruti starts giving us side airbags, the sunroof, as well as other tech which is offered by competitors, then the Brezza would be hard to fault with. But with this petrol engine, the fuel economy, and especially with the automatic, I'm not really very impressed, although the manual fares a lot better. And on that confusing verdict today, it's time to end. But before we do so, let me ask my sister, who is helping me with monitoring the camera today, that what does she like so much about the Brezza, because she actually drives one every day, a diesel top of the line with no, there's no Jeep Compass grill on it. But what do you think about it?
Mid-range torque is very nice.
See, even my sister loves a mid-range torque. And on that bombshell, it's time to end. Bye-bye.